to our meeting of July 15th, 2024. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Carrie, could we have roll call, please?
Sure. Councilmember Shippers. Councilmember Ellenboss.
Here.
Ingalls.
Here.
King.
Here.
Mayor Filkins.
Here. And at this time, if we could have somebody make a motion to approve the agenda as it's been amended in our package.
I will make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
Can you talk about what the amendment is?
I apologize, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended and to add an item under communications, a block party on Seneca Place, a request by the Silent Observer Group, appointments, recommendation regarding appointments to the Planning Commission, recommendation regarding appointments to the Board of Review, recommendation regarding appointments to Cadillac West Corridor Improvement Authority.
Second.
Councilmember Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers. Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. We'll go ahead and open the floor for our first public comment this evening. We do ask if you come forward, if you would please state your name and then write your name and address for the clerk. That would be greatly appreciated. And if you could keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Seeing no one, we'll close public comment and move to the approval of the consent agenda. And this evening, we do have the minutes from our regular meeting that was held on June 17th.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Shippers. Ellenboss.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. Tonight, we do have a community spotlight. Marcus, would you like to introduce that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. We have representatives, a board member, Jeremy Winkle, and their executive director, Nikki Schultz, here from the Alliance for Economic Success to talk a little bit about how they're doing and what's coming forward. We are looking at having for consideration later this summer, early fall, their agreement, which is coming due, I believe, after three years. So it feels like we just did it yesterday, but it's been 3 years already. So without any further ado, Nikki, Jeremy?
Do have a PowerPoint
Okay.
that I sent to Owen.
Okay.
All right, we'll wing it.
Well, is it in the, it's probably in the folder. Sorry, our normal folks.
Not.
No, that's all right.
We'll try real quick.
Yeah, well, give us a second really quick. Let's see if it's in the meeting.
Be a balancing act.
It's gonna go.
Thanks.
So catch it.
Special meetings.
It would be on top, by chance? Agendas, maybe?
I think so.
Try that, see if there's presentations under that.
Oh,
No?
Yeah, there's a presentation folder, Carrie.
Special meeting.
Nikki, did you send that to me too?
I did not.
Okay. Are you able to push it from your phone by any chance? We can get it.
If you want me to, I can.
Yeah, sure.
Want to skip us, Mayor?
Yeah, you can come back to us.
Sure, let's do that. Thank you. Yep. Marcus, let's just move ahead
Sure.
to the public hearings.
That's fine.
Okay.
Thank you. And I apologize. So we have somebody out very ill. So Mayor, members of the City Council, we do have one public hearing this evening. This is in regard to the request to amend our City Code of Ordinances by adding a new section designated as Section 10-4 of the code. This section of the code is in regard to making illegal the advertising of short-term rentals where such short-term rentals are otherwise prohibited already by code. There is not any more that I have to present on that. This is a topic and an item that we've discussed, I think, ad nauseum.
Okay. All right, thank you. We'll go ahead and open public comment just as it relates to this public hearing. And everything is the same as the first public comment, but you can have up to 6 minutes if you speak.
I have to put a tricky pen up here, huh? Yes, I do believe this amendment to the code would be valuable as the one home in question. I know, have you, can I ask a question about the injunction?
No, not at this time.
Okay. There are people at the Pine Street home now. There are also people at the Casson Division home. I mentioned the Casson Division home 2 weeks ago, 513 Cass Street. And they still have it on Verbo. The Pine Street home is still on Verbo. So yeah, I would be in favor of you making an amendment to it that would bar them from doing so. I do believe it would help send a message to these individuals that you mean business. Perhaps this is some of the teeth that I've been referring to over the past few meetings that would be beneficial for the elimination of this illegal activity. Thank you.
Okay, seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and move to any questions or conversation by the council.
I'd go ahead and make the motion to approve the resolution to adopt the ordinance to amend the Code of Ordinances by adding a new section 10-4 to the Code of Ordinances regulating advertising short-term rentals.
I'll second.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers, Ellenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. And Curie, we have several communications this evening.
Yes, we do. We have one from the Wexford County Veterans Services. They're requesting the approval to display a banner from August 5th to the 12th, 2024, to showcase the Northwest Michigan Military and Veterans Expo.
Would someone like to make that motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the display of a banner from August 5th to the 12th, 2024.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers, Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
The next item is a call to all. They're requesting to approve to have the Lake Street between Cass and Harris closed from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on August 11th for call to all services.
Would it be okay to ask what call to all is?
It's the Cadillac Area Ministerial Association, and they have services down at the city park. It's the same thing that they've been doing for several years.
Yeah. I make a motion to approve the closure of Lake Street between Cass Street and Harris Street from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. on August 11th, 2024 for a call to all event.
Support.
Councilmember Ellenboss?
Yes.
Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The next item we have is a request for a block party. It looks like they request to have a closure of Seneca Place between North Boulevard and Mohawk from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on August 17th, 2024 for a block party.
Sounds like fun.
I'd make a motion to approve the closure of Seneca Place between North Boulevard and Mohawk from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. on August 17th, 2024 for the block party Seneca Place.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Ellenboss?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The next.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. The next item we have is a silent observer. They're asking to place a mobile sign trailer at the city's municipal building. The new sign can scroll names of the areas most wanted by law enforcement. So they're looking to do that from August 10th to the 24th at the municipal building.
I'd make a motion to approve the display of a sign trailer placed at municipal building from August 10th through the 24th of 2024.
Support.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers, Ellenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. And before we move into the appointments, Carrie, we'll go back to the community spotlight.
I emailed it to you also, unless you got it.
What? Sorry.
Did you get it?
I don't know if I did.
Yeah,
think did.
just go into your email if you need to.
Is it this
Or-
right here?
Yep, that's it, right there.
Here it is.
Just hit the X or get out of that.
There must
Clo-
be next. Close PowerPoint, no. How's that?
And then, want me to help you guys?
Here, where? Here?
Slideshow.
Okay, you go ahead and pass it on. I apologize, guys, for the technical.
Oh, it's a readout.
Oh, one page.
Locked by.
Thank you.
Yeah, it says that.
You guys, I don't understand.
Just make it difficult.
Yeah.
Naval editing.
Okay, I'll try to work.
You have to sign in.
I'll let you drive.
Get it open?
Mm-hmm. Let's do that. It's already on the pod. Try
I
that.
didn't even know I had PowerPoint. I thought I was doing it on Google Slides.
Maybe that's the problem.
Who knew?
It's probably converting it.
No.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, guys, I'm really sorry, but for some reason the file will not open.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll go with
All right, I'm gonna let you open them there. We're gonna-
it.
But what we'll do is figure that out and get it out to everybody.
That'd be great, thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, my name's Jeremy Winkle. I'm the president and owner of Vandry Home Furnishings. With us, obviously, is Nikki Schultz, who's the director of Alliance for Economic Success, referred to in our community as AES. I don't even know when it was. Probably 10 years, 15 years ago, there was a group of business owners and community people that got together, really feeling like we need to be purposeful about economic development in our community. And what that looked like, none of us knew. At the time, it was John McLeod from the hospital, Eric Baker from Wolverine, Pete Stalker from Mercantile, and different people like that. And we just started brainstorming. And honestly, we came up against kind of a brick wall because of the funding side of it. In a lot of communities, it's the municipalities that fund stuff like this. A lot of times, it's strictly the county or something like that that funds stuff like this. And so we just, for a number of years, beat our head against the wall. And one day, Kelly Smith from Baker and Eric Baker, or Kelly Smith from Baker College, Eric Baker from Wolverine, and a couple people just said, you know what, it's time for us to go it alone. And so a group of business people and community members and organizations got together and said, we're going to privately fund this thing for 3 years. and we're going to prove to the community that it's needed and it's worth investing in. And so we did that. Time with COVID is whatever, but it took us a while to get going. COVID was during that. We contracted with an organization at the time, which is called Alliance for Economic Success. They were out of Manistee. They were doing the work. We were just one of the clients that they did. That organization transitioned over in Manistee County, and long story short, kind of stopped work there, but we brought them over here. We took full control of them, and at the time we were trying to figure out what a model looked like long-term for this to work. And there's an organization up in northern Michigan called Northern Lakes Economic Development. It's in the greater Gaylord area, Charlevoix, I think it's 9 counties. And they have a model where they contract with Michigan State Extension for the resource to lead their organization. And it's funded through, partially funded through that organization and through, it's a weird name for at Michigan State that you're part of.
Yeah, it's the community and vitality governmental.
Whatever. And so what we do is, Nikki is actually an employee of Michigan State University, and we, as an organization, contract with them to provide support for our community. And that's kind of the history of it. And now Nikki will get into the organization, and we'll talk about funding here in a second.
Yep. So I have been in this role for just shy of a year. It'll be a year at the end of August. And my why for wanting to work with AES is for my children. So I have 3 almost adult children that I want to come back to Cadillac. When they're done adventuring and in college, I want them to move back to Cadillac. And in order for that to happen, we need to have really great things in place that we currently already have, but we also have to have more. We need more housing, we need more childcare, recreational opportunities as well. So I want them to be able to make connections and have meaningful work here. And so I jumped into AES really without much background in economic development. In the next month, I will be going to North Carolina to get to start my certification to become a certified economic developer, which I'm really excited about. But up here you will see we recently went through a strategic planning process that created for us our new mission and our new vision. We've had a little bit of turnover over the last 3 years at AES, and we needed a mission and vision that really meant what we were, and we created it to move forward. So up on the screen, what Jeremy was sharing a little bit ago was how we leverage partnerships. Do you want to share?
Yep. And so, like I said, when we got started, it was a group of individuals and businesses in the community that funded it for 3 years. It was a $75,000 commitment, and it was funded by those donations through the Community Foundation. That was the pass-through organization. And like I said, COVID happened during that. There's a lot of things that happened during that. And I don't know if you remember, but shortly when we came here, we had hired Lisa
Leedy.
well, the second Lisa.
Miller,
sorry. Lisa Miller. She's a Cadillac grad that was working at Grand Valley State, moved to our community, and was going to help run our organization. And then all of a sudden, the Office of Rural Development for the governor called her, and she thought that was a better deal. And so there's been, like I said, some changes that have happened. But through that process, we've sat down with different municipalities. We sat down with new businesses, old businesses, and other nonprofits in the community and drummed up support. And we're happy today that we are fully funded, that we are actually working at a positive type situation, but we want to do more. And so right now, Clam Lake Township, Clam Lake DDA, I'm sure I'm going to miss some, the City of Cadillac, Wexford County, Missaukee County, and then a number of local businesses are funding partners for us that pay a portion of the fee that ultimately pays for Nikki and the services that we provide for all the organizations in our community. Our board's up there. As you can see, Peter Marinoff from the hospital. Pam is a Missaukee County Commissioner. Mike Musta from the Wexford County. Carla, the mayor, serves with us on the board, and then Randy Hill, and then a couple ex officio people for our board.
Thank you. So what we do, you'll see there a plethora of things that we are called to do, or I am specifically called to do. I am a staff of one, so I have a big, busy job, but I get to do a lot of really fun things. And so the last year, I've really been focusing on collaboration, really learning about all of the organizations within Wexford and Missaukee counties. And so I'm really thankful to them for welcoming me in and working with me so well. The Cadillac Area Visitors Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce's, the county commissioners have been super amazing and really helpful in helping me learn what this role is about and trying to like carve out what we want. Because what I get to do and what I get to do with my board is we get to kind of decide what way to go and how to best serve the community based on community needs assessments and other ways like that. So over the last almost year, I have written 9 letters of support for certain projects throughout the 2-county region and submitted 3 grant applications along with many other things. So a couple of highlights that you'll see that we have done on the left-hand side, the highlights. So the Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities Conference was held here at the end of May, and that was a collaboration with MSU Extension. It's their conference every year that they hold in a different small downtown. We brought in about 125 people on that day, and all of the breakout sessions were held within small businesses right downtown. It was a phenomenal day, and we were really excited that Cadillac was chosen to be a part of that. Making connections for housing projects. We all know housing is a need, and it's a big ask, and so just being a part of many conversations to make those happen. Do you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's stuff, the stuff with economic development, I think you all realize is hard to put your finger on because it's all about multiple conversations in multiple rooms at multiple times, and it's connecting people, and you go down so many rabbit holes that never turn into anything. But you still go down those rabbit holes hoping it's going to turn into things. And so, in the last year, we connected DK Development with Pinnacle Construction in the conference room right here, which hopefully Cooley School is going to happen because of that. We never want to take 100% credit for anything because we are 100% part of a collaboration. We were talking by email this weekend. There was an article about Wall Ravens getting their Match on Main grant or whatever. We didn't write that grant, the city wrote that grant, but we are processed in that grant. So it's stuff like that. I talked to the Lofts developers today. Stuff like that where I never want to say we're what's driving it through, but we're part of those conversations. Me and Nikki met with a guy who wants to build 400 homes in our community. It's a very unique development. She met with him again today, met with Habitat, met with the
New Hope Shelter.
New Hope Shelter, the other one. He's from Traverse City. Will that happen? I have no idea. His vision is huge. His model is very unique, but it's those type of conversations that we're trying to spur in our community. From what I always say from a non-turf perspective. If you sit down with the city, obviously you have your agenda, right or wrong, and you're looking out for your best interest. If you met with a township, Herring Township, they have their agenda, they have their people, they want their development. What we try to be is a neutral party in our community that just wants to make, as Nikki said, a better community for her kids and my kids. That's ultimately what we're looking to do.
Yeah. So our housing advocacy group has about 42 members that we bring together about bi-monthly to just talk about housing projects. I will say one of our focuses is childcare, which is my background, and I would much rather have a conversation about housing any day of the week than I would about childcare. And so that's just, we've got some movement in housing. We're getting there, and so it's really exciting to get to be a part of that.
And that conversation was through Housing North, which I think you guys are all familiar with. They wrote a grant. That grant provided housing support for our community. There's a gentleman in our community at least once a month that is now working on behalf of Housing North, on behalf of AES. That's 100% working on housing in our community. He was in town today, and he's committed, and the organization is committed to basically interview 5 different projects, if they're available, and take them from theoretical stage to make it happen, because that's where everybody stops. I'm not sure if you've had housing discussions, but you have these people that are passionate, you have these people that have money, you have these people that have a vision, but they don't know how to get from, I have this vision, to all the grants, all the stuff, all the whatever, to here. Eric is in town. I'm working as a consultant to hopefully spur a few of those projects together.
Yep, thank you. We are also the contracting with Consumers Energy to provide facilitation for the Hydro Dams Prosperity Group. So Sherry Spolman and Mark Lagerway are our consultants on that project, and so they're meeting with large groups of people to talk about that project right now. One of the other highlights that I get to do is I get to work with MEDC every month, and so I get to go into some of the businesses here in town and get to meet with their HR and just understand what their needs are, which housing and childcare are, big needs that they have, and so I get to be in those conversations and hear what they have to say. So moving forward, a couple of the things that we have in the works. So Eric, our consultant, and myself are working with the Wexford County to establish a brownfield authority, which has been a long time coming, and so we're really, really excited about that one.
We hope that leads to a land bank. We're not committed to that yet, but we
They're
hope.
not committed to that. No, they're not. So then we have Developer Day in fall of 2024. So I have a group committee that is working on bringing some developers up. We're calling it the Greater Cadillac Area Developer Day, which will be during peak color season, which will be the second week of October. We're going to lure them up here during color season and get them to commit to stay. So we're really excited about that one. Emerge Skilled is a talent pipeline management launch that we are working with the Chamber of Commerce. That's going to connect businesses with our students, and the Career and Commerce Expo, as well as in conjunction with the Chamber of Commerce. So I get to do a lot of really fun things with the Chamber of Commerce, both for Cadillac and for Missaukee County. So
3 years ago, I was here. We asked you for money. You guys supported that on a 3-year contract, so that contract's coming up for renewal. We met with Marcus and Owen a few weeks ago, and just to figure out what that contract looks like. And they gave us the opportunity to kind of spotlight our organization in ahead of you guys looking at that contract. So we'll be back when that contract is submitted. So if you have questions, or if you have questions now, we're happy to answer it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, guys. Sorry about the technical glitch.
Okay, the appointments for this evening, Carrie.
We have a reappointment to the Cadillac Housing Commission for Gloria Frost. She's expressed her interest in continuing her service as a member of the Cadillac Housing Commission for a 5-year term, which will expire on 7/19/2029. She has been a member since August of 2018.
I'd make a motion to approve the reappointment of Gloria Frost to the Cadillac Housing Commission for a 5-year term to expire on 7/19/29.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers, Ellenboss?
Yes.
Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Next, we have an appointment for Planning Commission representing Ward 2. And that is Gene Van Pelt has expressed his interest in being appointed to serve as a member of the Planning Commission representing Ward 2. His term will end on 7/15/2027.
Is this an open seat? I thought we had a full planning commission. Is he taking over for someone, Marcus?
This is an open seat.
It is an open seat, okay.
There's 2 representatives for each ward.
Okay.
So while we currently have someone sitting in each ward, there's actually 2 people in each ward.
I will make a motion to approve the appointment of Gene Van Pelt to the Planning Commission for a 4-year term to expire on May 6th, 2028.
I'll second.
Councilmember Ellenboss?
Yes.
Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The next one we have is an appointment, Frances Walbank, to a 2-year term on the Board of Review. Frances has submitted her application, expressed interest in serving on the Board of Review as a 3rd Ward alternate for a 2-year term to expire on 7/15/2026.
I'd make a motion to approve the appointment of Frances Walbank to the Board of Review, 3rd Ward alternate for a 2-year term to expire on July 15th, 2026.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Ellenboss?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
The last one, the last one of the appointments is for Ben Dietrich for a 4-year term on the Corridor Improvement Authority at Cadillac West Resort Area. He's submitted his application, expressed interest in serving a 4-year term, which will end on 7/15/2028.
I have one more question, Marcus. Is he correct when he says he won't be able to, where is that? Hold on. When he says he won't be able to be a voting member because of in decisions that influence financial interests, and what does he mean? Directly having to do with the park?
Yeah,
Directly having to do with the
anything
commission?
regarding, there would be Mitchell State Park.
Yeah, and that would,
This is inference.
I mean, the amount of business that comes before this improvement authority that has to do with the park is,
Very limited at this point. It's not to say that there may not be
Okay.
at some point in the future, but right now it's very limited.
I will make a motion to approve the appointment of Ben Dietrich to the West Corridor Improvement Authority for a 4-year term to expire on July 15th, 2028.
I'll second.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers, Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
One more.
Yes.
Yep, the last one we have is to designate a primary representative and an alternate to attend the Michigan Municipal League Annual Convention.
I'm happy to continue being the primary, and council member Shippers is always happy to be the alternate unless somebody else would like to do it this year. No?
Nope.
Okay,
All yours.
then if someone would make the motion with those 2 names in there, that would be great.
I will make the motion to designate Mayor Filkins as the primary representative and Councilmember Shippers as the alternate to attend and vote at the Michigan Municipal League Annual Convention.
I'll second.
Councilmember Shippers, Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. And Marcus, that brings us to the city manager's report for this evening.
Thank you very much, Mayor, members of the City Council. The first item is a request to set a public hearing regarding the the community recreation plan for 2024-2029. The date for the public hearing that we're requesting is August 19th, 2024. There is a council communication in your packet that provides a summary of the process thus far, and I'll be brief. Basically, it started with the Planning Commission. Planning Commission's recommendations then went to the school board. School board reviewed it and then sent back their version back to us. We reviewed it and now have it back to you guys for the final stage in the process. The packet is available at the public, for the public at the public counter. It's also available online. It is somewhat voluminous, and if you wish to take a look at it, I would suggest looking at it digitally. So,
I'd make a motion to set a public hearing for August 19th, 2024 for the receipt of comment on the 2024 to 2029 Community Rec Plan.
Support.
Councilmember Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Shippers, Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
moving on, the next item is a request for concrete repair and patchwork. This is concrete repair and patchwork that is needed as a part of the drinking water asset management program that we have received. I want to say it was $1 million, $500,000 grant for. These costs would be reimbursed to the city. Accordingly, we only received one bid in the amount of $29,000 from Jaeger Concrete Services LLC. We are requesting a contingency of an additional $3,000 to be added to the contract.
And this is the state, we're on the timeline to analyze and replace. Can you lay out that timeline one more time?
It's been moved up till September. It used to be a little later in the year, November, I think, but the state moved it up to September. We have to be finished with all our lead and copper inspections, and we're, I don't know, 90% or so. Right now, these are the ones that are out in the street that we have to do, so it takes us a little longer, but all the other ones that we could do, pretty much have accomplished, so.
What percentage did we have to survey?
We had to do 10%. We had to report on everybody, and then the state wanted us to reconfirm at random 10%. So they just picked a whole bunch of addresses and say, these are the ones you've got to reconfirm for us that you're, accurate in your reporting to us. So
How many do you have left, Jeff?
we had like 350 to do. I'd say we're down to 50 or so.
Okay.
So we should make it, with ease. Knock on wood.
And please remind me, is this something we do annually?
No, this is something with the state that is, because of the Flint crisis, they want all the water systems in Michigan to go through their system and see how much lead and copper connections you have. The city of Cadillac historically, though, since we've replaced a lot of mains, as we've ran across these in the past, we have taken out the lead goosenecks all along, and currently we have not found any on all the inspections we've done. So.
Thank you.
Just to clarify, so everybody knows, we're paying somebody to come in and cut the cement and lift it so you guys can dig, right?
Right, they're gonna cut the cement, take the cement off for the asphalt. We'll actually do we have our Vactor, we'll suck down to the water mains, and we'll check on each side what is it copper, is it lead on each side, and then we'll fill in the hole again up to the top. The contractor will come back out, take out like the top 6 inches, and they'll concrete it or asphalt it, whichever one it needs to be at that point.
Very good.
Okay. I will make a motion to award concrete repair and patching project to Jaeger Concrete Services LLC in the amount of $32,000, which includes an additional $3,000 contingency for city-approved changes.
Support.
Councilmember Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Ellenboss?
Yes.
Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Okay, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. Next item is regarding bids and a recommendation for the Haines Street Micro Park location. I think all of you may or may not recall, this was part of the consumer's grant that we had received. We have 2 micro park locations. This is sort of commonly known as the Triangle Park, adjacent to Inland Lakes, across the street from consumers along the Clam River Greenway. Bids were issued. Recommendation is to the lowest bidder, CJ's Excavating Inc. out of Cadillac, Michigan, in the amount of $111,470.76. We are requesting a contingency as well to bring that amount up to $115,000 even.
Well, again, to clarify, what we're getting for the grant is, according to the paperwork, is 2,400 feet of concrete sidewalk, 80 tons of HMA 4EL. Can somebody tell me what HMA 4EL is? Topsoil? I have no idea.
Be for the parking area.
Yeah, I believe it's part of the parking area. I don't know,
I
Jeff.
think it's asphalt.
Yeah.
It's asphalt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then 120 L feet of curb and gutter.
Linear foot of curb and gutter.
Okay.
Go with it.
So we're kind of starting out, but there isn't going to be any play area or any, this doesn't include any of that.
No, sorry, council member, just to be even clearer on what the overall
Yeah.
vision of that area is. Right now, we don't really have any kind of launching point within the city to access the Clam River Greenway. And back when the city accepted this property from the county, when it went back on foreclosure, the concept overall was to look at putting in some kind of a landing area, picnicking space, parking area where folks could go and park adjacent to the Clam River Greenway. We would then start to maintain it as a park, keep it clear cut so you could actually see the river walk, and you can jump on it from that point. This current initiative, to call it that, does not include any kind of a play zone or play area at all.
It'd be more like a phase one starting
Yeah,
point.
I mean, sky's the limit, right?
Yeah. Well, and then we need plans on cleaning up the clam too. that area down there to the old dam,
Mhm.
which we talked briefly about the other day.
Yes.
I look forward to that.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I thought we did a good job with this property because then the other half of it went to Inland Lakes for their expansion project. Yeah.
Correct.
I will make a motion to award the Micro Park Haynes Street location project to CJ's Excavating in the amount of $111,470.76, with a contingency totaling $115,000 for city engineer approved field changes due to unknowns in construction.
Second?
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers, Allenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Moving right along, Mayor, members of the City Council, this is the second two of two micro park locations that were part of the Consumers Prosperity Grant. This one is adjacent to the White Pine Trail. And bids were again solicited. Lowest bidder again being recommended going to CJ's Excavating. The amount of the bid is $68,010.29. The request is to add a small amount of contingency, bringing it to $70,000. And as you can see within the public packet, it includes not just some concrete, but it includes a mural wall and some exercise stations and a light as well, in addition to the park. Did you find it?
And again, it's a Consumers Energy Prosperity Grant.
Did I know we've had the conversation, but I forgot what part of the White Pine Trail this is going to be at.
So, do you want to mention, John? It's by the
that
multifamily
apartment
housing.
complex.
Okay.
I forget the name of it.
Cadillac.
Where they
Shores.
just
Yeah.
built the,
Behind Arborview?
yeah. No,
No.
it's out on 44 and a half road.
Okay, out by the old parking lot, the old
Yes.
trailhead.
Sorry, I thought it was Cadillac Shores. That's not what it's called.
I'd make a motion to award the contract for Micro Parks White Pine Trail location project to CJ's Excavating, Inc. in the amount of $68,000, $10.29 with a contingency, I'm having a heck of a time, totaling $70,000 for city engineer approved field changes due to unknowns in construction.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers, Allenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
King,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The next item for consideration is regarding bids that were sought for a sanitary sewer repair job that was done by 707 North Mitchell Street. We received 4 bids. Again, the lowest bidder being CJ's Excavating, Inc., in the amount of $57,330.30. Request is to include a contingency and to bring that number up to $63,000. Jeff, if you want to maybe explain a little bit about what this project is.
Yeah, we have a sanitary sewer basically in the parking lot of the old Mancino's building that is a convergence of about 3 or 4 sewers there that is giving us trouble all the time because of the way it was constructed. We've expanded it and the flow's not right and we always have problems there and we back up all the way downtown a lot and that's the pinch point. So this construction would lead us to correct this the sewer in that area and make it flow and we won't have so much backup to the downtown of Cadillac. So
And this is sanitary, not storm. which
this is sanitary.
an important clarification as well when we're talking about backups.
Okay. I'll make a motion to award the sanitary sewer repair project to CJ's Excavating in the amount of $57,330.30, with a contingency totaling $63,000 for city engineer field changes due to unknowns in construction.
I'll second.
Councilmember Allenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls?
Yes.
King?
Yes.
Shippers? Mayor Filkins?
Yes, motion carries.
Okay.
Introduction of ordinance?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, members of the City Council. The first item, or only item under this section, is to adopt a resolution to introduce an ordinance that amends Section 20-38 of our city code and basically set a public hearing for August 19th, 2024. This is in regard to setbacks and essentially making it easier for people to develop if they exceed, what is it, a 3-to-1 depth, John?
Yes, that's correct.
So can you explain a little bit about how that'll help people versus what they're stuck with right now?
Our standard traditionally has been a 1-to-3 ratio of width to depth, and the state subdivision control, I believe, is 1-to-4. But unfortunately, we have a few plats that were developed with very deep lots where there's not any real potential to put in new roads, and to have those lots be subdivided further or split further, the depth is just greater than either the state or the local standard, and this creates an ability to allow reasonable lot splits to take place in those few places in town where we have extremely deep lots that have already been platted.
Thank you. So, question tonight is regarding setting of a hearing for further discussion and public input.
What area of town has these deep lots?
Well, there's a few areas of town. There's one, believe it's right near Marble Street, actually near the Cooley School project. There's quite deep lots in that area.
There's no alley that runs between Marble Street and Granite Street.
And there's a few other areas of town as well that we have the same exact situation.
I know we're going to have a public hearing on it, but if we could have in our packet the exact areas we're talking about
I think that would
doing
be
this
good.
for, so
Town should be
that
able to
the
do that.
citizens in that area can see how their land's going to be affected. I think that would be great.
Sure. We'll put a map together.
Sure.
Now, if this passes, is it up to the zoning board of appeals or the zoning administrator? It's a ZBA thing? Is that what I'm reading here?
No, it wouldn't go before the zoning board of appeals. This was meant to not force it to go to the zoning board of appeals, because traditionally this kind of a variance would violate the normal procedure for them to give a variance. So it wouldn't have been a workable system to go to the ZBA.
Yeah, so then it would be a zoning administrator decision. Okay.
So is it going to affect the entire Marble Street and Granite Street area? Property owners?
Well, it depends on what the current lot configuration is. For those that have the real deep lots, it could potentially affect them. Those that are if there's parts of that street that have met the traditional standard, it wouldn't affect them.
And again, how will it affect them?
Well, if somebody's going to, say somebody has a fairly wide lot and they want to subdivide it, and our normal standard is 50-foot wide or 60-foot wide lots, but when you do another 50 or 60-foot lot, the depth is too deep, it would allow that split to take place because there's enough width to make a reasonable lot for development. But it wouldn't have to be blocked because of the depth of that lot.
I see.
So it potentially increases the density in those areas then, because you could fit more into that area. Have we talked to the people who actually own in that area to see how they feel about a greater density around them?
No, we have not spoken to anyone on this topic.
That's one of the things I've been huge on, is I don't think we should be doing stuff without talking to the people that it's going to affect. I know maybe it's not legally required, But boy, I'd sure like to know my lot's gonna be affected before there's action.
And it looks like on here, we're mentioning Cobb Street and Carmel Street too, so a map with highlighted areas would be helpful to visualize it. But I also have a question, because a lot of times, even though we're passing something that will affect several areas, there's one specific request that we're responding to. Is there a specific parcel that prompted this? Is it the Cooley project that's prompting this?
I think there was a project, I'm just not aware of what it was. I think Jerry Adams was working on that application and ran into that issue.
Well, I think that it's okay that we go ahead and set the public hearing, but I do hope that we are prepared for, if those people are here in the room, that we're able to identify those properties and answer all of those questions.
Well, I'd almost like to see that these property owners are sent something, that we're doing this so that they can give input, because it sounds like that hasn't happened yet.
And just a reminder, to everybody on city council, that there's no requirement that city council take action following a public hearing.
Sure.
You can,
Mhm.
table, take no action, take
Right.
action,
But
change.
I think it
So,
helps
yeah.
us in taking action or not if we know that the property owners who are affected actually know what's
Sure.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's slightly different from what Steve said as notifying the property owners. Even if there was a map with the highlighted areas, the paper would, that would make the article a little bit more informative to see which parcels could potentially be affected. So if that information doesn't get out in time, then the public hearing is not always as helpful as it could be.
Sure. We can put something together for them,
Okay,
so.
thank you. Okay,
Last comment is, I probably will not vote for this just because I want to know the people know about it before we start the process for a public hearing.
okay.
You want to table it? Table it?
Even the request for the public hearing, sure.
Yeah.
I think that's smart, because then we can make sure the public, and especially the people who own in that area,
Okay.
know about it. And
I
John's
agree.
able to report to us that he's done that.
I think I am quick to respond when something is a time-sensitive issue. I understand when that happens, but I don't think there's any negative consequences of tabling this, related to a specific project. So
Sounds good.
I'll make a motion to table this item.
I'll second
Okay.
it.
Councilmember Ingalls,
yes,
King,
Yes.
Shippers, Ellenboss,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. Good discussion, thank you. Okay, and then we have a resolution to adopt.
Yes, sort of almost last but not least in terms of our overall agenda for tonight. And certainly would like to acknowledge and thank the folks from St. Julian Winery coming here this evening. There is a request for the consideration regarding the local government approval, which would be you guys, for an on-premises tasting room permit. And as your packet includes, there is correspondence from St. Julian Winery along with a copy of the State of Michigan Liquor Control Commission template of the resolution that is needed for consideration this evening in order for them to continue to move forward in their process of due diligence. Certainly, it would be appropriate if you wish to acknowledge anybody here this evening from St. Julian if they want to say
I
a
would
word or
like to
two.
do that. I would like to meet them and hear your plans. Don't be shy.
All right, well, good evening, everyone.
Hi.
We're here, as Marcus had said, to ask for your blessing on us to move forward with the state on opening a tasting room here in Cadillac. I guess I should start. I'm Joel Zaccali, Executive Vice President of St. Julian, here with John and Sarah Braganini, owners of St. Julian. I've been around about 7 years, and in my time, about 5 years ago, we opened 2 tasting rooms in the state, one in Rockford, not too far from here, and one over in Troy on the other side of the state. And during that time with MLCC licensing, we're allowed one more tasting room in the state, and we've been looking for 5 years or so. And after several trips up to Traverse City and failed attempts up there, we kept driving through Cadillac, and I think John and his son Apollo and I said, "Why not Cadillac?"
You should have just stopped here.
I know we should have, but that was, and it just hit all of us. But that was our instinct a couple years ago when we started looking, and there was a property that became available that we're interested in that we're still working through that process on. But we've been around over 100 years. We use Michigan fruit in all of our products. We're now in 4th generation running the company. We're excited about the possibilities here, and I think that if not all, most people would be impressed and enjoy our portfolio and what we have to offer as a company. I don't know if you have anything to add, John.
I think he said it. He said just about all of it. So we 103 years. The company's been in our family, and so my branch of the family owns it along with the employees. We're 100% employee owned now. So we sold 1 million gallons of wine last year.
Wow.
600,000 gallons of it was case goods. The other 400,000 was bulk wine. We sell bulk wine to small wineries all over the United States. We're real active in the wholesale market, the direct-to-consumer. We have 20,000 wine club members, and probably 3,000 of them drive through Cadillac at any point in time through the year. So we're committed. We're a farm-to-table company. As Joel mentioned, we use Michigan fruit. We're committed to local economies. I like this area. I always have, and I think that it would be a great opportunity for the community and for our company.
And we still very much run a traditional tasting room. It's not a bar. We're not open till 2 in the morning. People come in, they taste wine. Our typical tasting room employs about 25 to 30, depending on the time of the year and the volume of the tasting room. But we also have, standard retail, standard tasting like you would see up north. I think we just do it a little bit better.
Do you have appetizers or anything? in
We
your tasting
do
rooms?
prepackaged snacks. We do not offer kitchen services by any means, but you could definitely leave there full with cheeses and meats and crackers and chips and all those good things.
Okay.
They're big investments for us. The typical tasting room might be a small, maybe 5 or 6 people, a couple of employees. Our tasting rooms, our business model is they have to generate about $1 million a year in sales, and they're always investments that exceed $1 million. So we have to be careful when we start one, because once we make the commitment, we got to follow through with it.
Sure.
I've been in your Frankenmuth store. It's very classy, very nice. And I've still got a bottle of Grappo in my cabinet.
Yeah.
We opened our first tasting room 65 years ago. In 1959 was the first one. Frankenmuth one was their second location. We opened that in 1980.
Very well done, very classy, nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for us?
I don't think so. No.
All right. Thank you for your time.
If I may,
Mhm.
just Joel,
Yeah.
we'll make sure to get you the filled out form.
Okay. All right.
So-
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, would someone like to make a motion?
I'd make a motion, adopt resolution, grant approval to St. Julian Winery to open an on-premises tasting room.
Support.
Councilmember King,
Yes.
Shippers, Ellenboss,
Yes.
Ingalls,
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries. Okay, at this time, we'll open the floor for our second public comment this evening.
Next time we'll bring wine.
Thank you.
Hello, Don Koschmeider, Cadillac, Michigan. I don't live in the city limits, but I do way support any micro parks that you guys are working with, any grants you get, God bless you. That's going to be really good for the community, along with a new business that we just talked to here. I live out Boone Road on Sarah Street in Anna. That's a little neighborhood. I don't know if you guys know the past Walmart out Boone Road that way. It's called Frankie's Green Acres is the official name of the subdivision, but there's a little park that is right on the Clam River called Frankie Park, and working on cleaning it out. It's beautiful. It's the neighbors are going to enjoy that. Neighborhood's been around since probably the 70s, but I really support you guys. It's awesome how you guys are working doing these micro parks. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Seeing no one else, we'll close public comment and move to good of the order. Should anyone have anything?
Okay. First, it was exciting to hear tonight about the new business. I want to make sure Berkey's is such a lovely family organization that my family's loved the whole time. I've been here, my wife's family, for generations behind that. So we are very sad to see you go, but we're excited it's another family business that's coming in behind you. So it brought up in my mind also people thinking, and Marcus, if we can, anything we need to do because of needing restaurants both in our downtown area and Cadillac West and that, maybe getting some ideas of no, we're not developers, but recruitment or the idea of highlighting
I do that all the time.
our opportunity right
Yeah.
now because we're down so many. So it would be an exciting thing to be involved in. I think St. Julian coming in can help be part of that.
Yeah.
This-
spark.
Yeah, this is good of the order, but I apologize. Would you like to take the opportunity to say anything? No?
I used to work there, but I've been there for 23 years.
Okay, all right, thank you. I didn't mean to miss you if, yeah, okay, all right. Thanks.
I do have one more good of the order thing. We had the presentation about enforcement that we gave a couple meetings back, and I know I was wondering if we gave similar, maybe I already asked this, similar presentations to the Historic District Commission, the Zoning Board of Appeals, and the Planning Commission, because I know members of those commissions, I think, have some of the same concerns, and specifically those three make requirements of things that are going on, projects, and they could just watch the council meeting, but I think that all three of those boards would enjoy smaller or maybe even the same type of presentation for how that type of enforcement will work.
It's great feedback. We can look at putting
I think
I
the
would say
planning
maybe a
commissioners would love to
shorter-
hear that.
Shorter, yeah.
probably a
that's a good
shorter
idea.
presentation
Those
together,
three.
but yeah.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
idea, yeah.
Nope, I'm quiet tonight. Got nothing.
I would like to just share with all of you, if you haven't seen them, we have 215 Model Ts in the community right now.
If you haven't seen
If you haven't seen them. I spent the afternoon and evening with them last night, and the fellowship that is happening in the Cadillac Commons area is phenomenal. And there are people here from 26 different states, 2 provinces of Canada, and they cannot say enough about our community. And they cannot say enough about our Visitors Bureau and the amount of help and support that they have gotten from this community to be able to do their international tour here this summer. So if you get a chance to get down and see them when they're milling about, I had so many great conversations, and I started every single one of them with, "Where are you from?" And great conversation came from every single one of those. So don't be shy. They're not shy. And it's a multi-generational group of people, kids, grandkids to grandparents, and they are loving learning about our community, and I'm just really proud of that. So I think they set a record yesterday with their event in the marketplace for the biggest event covering as much geographical location from participants that has ever happened in the marketplace. So, yeah,
Yeah, they love to talk about their cars.
they do.
I
They do.
I ran into 3 conversations and had to pull my way out of them after about 15 minutes. But yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcus, did you have anything for good of the order?
No, I just wanted to echo, I think, sentiments from council. Great meeting and some great ideas. One of the things that I'll mention now, and we'll look at maybe doing some PR, but it's just a reminder to everybody on city council, if you find yourself in a conversation that talks about business and economic development opportunities. Don't forget, we have 2 overlay zones on in the city, one covering the downtown area, one covering the West Corridor area, to help folks if they're looking at redeveloping, building new or revitalizing, which essentially would be remodeling, properties that can abate taxes for up to 10 years at I think 100% or up to 12 years at 50%. And it's a great conversation starter, I found in a couple of instances. May or may not lead to something, but it's one of the examples that we should make sure we continue to talk about. We're open for business. So.
Wonderful. And I just want to share one other great story with everybody. It's a small world, and I say that all of the time, and I just love when this happens. It drives my husband nuts because I can do it every time. But I was listening to a conversation between Gordon Call, who is, he was the coordinator of this event, and his daughter, Jenny Call, was here for several years as the high school and middle school orchestra conductor. And that's how we came to know them. And they chose to have Dawn Fresh Catering out of Falmouth do the event yesterday with a pig roast. And they came in mass, and they fed those 500 and some people in no time at all, and everybody was just happy. And I overheard a conversation where Gordon Call actually met the Ebels family for the first time. They had been talking, via email and by phone, but they were having a conversation. And when Mr. Ebels saw Gord's name, he said, Call, do you know a David Call? And Gordon's like, that's my brother. Well, Mr. Ebels' family members, younger siblings, actually had Gord Call's brother for a teacher down in the Grand Rapids area. And so they made that connection yesterday, and I thought that was amazing. So those are the kinds of things that are happening right now in our community. So with that, we have to go into closed session tonight. So could somebody make that motion to get us there?
I make a motion to adjourn to closed session to discuss a written confidential legal opinion with the city attorney. Invite Adam Ojepka, Director of Public Safety, and John Wallace, Director of Community Development.
That's not right. Support.
No, hold on one
Wait a
second.
minute.
Should be the case.
It does reference the
Trial or settlement strategy.
Yeah.
case right above it. Is that supposed to be part of the blue text? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if it's not in there. Let me read it. The motion should include everything Councilmember Elabas said.
No, this should be the motion. Motion to adjourn to closed
thank you.
session to consult with the city attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with pending litigation in City of Cadillac v. Matthew McCall Stillman, case number 2431523CZ, for the reason that an open meeting would have a detrimental financial effect on the litigating or settlement position of the city.
That's
Make a
what he
motion to consult with the city attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with pending litigation in City of Cadillac versus Matthew McCall Stillman, case number 24-31523-CZ, for the reason that an open meeting would have a detrimental financial effect on the litigating or settlement position of the city. Is that better? Oh,
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Support.
Councilmember Shippers, Ellenboss.
Yes.
Ingalls.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
Mayor Filkins.
Yes, motion carries.
Sorry. Cheat sheet.